we got the approval on a second lender. Don't get excited. Because if I can't get the first and the second lender to agree to the dollars on the HUD, like my example earlier, we lost that one over $500, we don't have an approval. Now, let's assume we got everybody okayed. That file then goes to the closing department. The closing department then orders a HUD that balances the approvals. Once that package is all done, the HUD, you will get emailed, and Kathy will get emailed the approval package. It will say right in there, deficiency waived, not waived, uncertain, any monies to bring. If we email you, say the bank wants the homeowner to bring $500 to closing, we're emailing you and the homeowner, we're looking for a response in email form. The homeowner agreed to it or they said yes. So when it comes to the closing table, well, I didn't agree to that. Well, according to this email you did.
What if they say no?
If they say no, then we continue to work the file.
Okay.
But if we get to a point where the bank says you have to, if they don't agree to it, then you won't get an approval package. We're not going to send you one when all of a sudden somebody's blindsided. You're going to know everything in this file. As the deficiencies waived, the HUD balances. Once we ship out the approval package, we just sit back and wait for our closing date. We don't schedule your closing dates. The title company does all that because I don't talk to the buyer. I don't get involved with the buyer. So the buyer's lender has to be ready and all of the moon and the stars have to line up. Then, when it's ready to close, the title company, if we need assistance, they need assistance getting the final HUD approval for closing, we will assist them. Other than that, follow the directions on the approvals. That's it.
Hey, Rick, when you, as an agent, when you are ordering for a short sale, you have to sign up for Equator, is that correct?
Good point. You had a question and I'll come back to yours.
I'll wait.
Okay.
This is kind of the last time.
Anybody here heard of Equator? Or everybody have Equator files? Or, Equator login and password? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and NationStar use an electronic version of a software. I call it, it's kind of like playing ping pong. I log all this stuff in, that's my task to do. Then it pings it to the negotiator at the bank. He has to do his thing, it may request something, then a task comes back to us to do. Well, when Equator first came out, we used our login and password. Everything went somewhat okay once they straightened out the bugs in the system. And here comes the closing. They say, wait a minute, the login and password is not the real estate agent, it's you guys, so the real estate agent isn't getting paid commission, you guys are. Well, that didn't go over too well. So we use your login and your password for Equator. If you don't have one, get one. There's no charge to the basic Equator. I know they try to sell you some upgrades to get listings, or you do whatever you want with that. But get a login and password in Equator, there's no charge. If your files becomes an Equator, Bank of America Equator file or Wells Fargo, we will log into the computer system every day to see if there's any tasks to do. If Bank of America negotiator on an Equator deal sometimes will email you directly, they will not email us. Forward us that email. Get it by 3 o'clock, it's handled that day. If not, it's handled the next day. If they call you, they will not call us. They're going to say, I need this, this, and this. Write it down, drop us an email. If you monitor your Equator account, it's not a problem. But the way the Equator system works, we'll get it to a certain stage, and all of a sudden you'll get an email. It's going to pop in your Equator system, counter offer, and you'll see, hey, they approved my purchase price. Never, never, never hit accept on any of that stuff. Because what happens is, step one is you got to get it in the system. Step two is they counter. Counter is you got to load all the fees in there. Well, if you hit accept and don't load the fees in there, guess what happens at the end? There's no real estate commission. There's no transfer taxes, there's no any past dues, there's no second lien, and they make you start to file over. So look all you want in the Equator system, but we act as you in the system so you can get your commission, and we'll do all your tasks for you. But if you get notified via email directly outside of the Equator system and or a phone call, jot it down, drop us an email, and boom, we'll take care of it for you.
Would you prefer that we send the short sale package prior to receiving a purchase agreement so we can make sure that everything's complete?
That's either or. The banks do not recognize a request for a short sale until you have an offer. They'll tell you on the phone, sure, send it in, we'll get everything going. Doesn't happen, it gets lost or deleted. So, you can send us all the paperwork or some of it, and we'll start to piecemeal it for you. If we start to get information and there's no purchase agreement, the computer's gonna spit you an email once a week saying, hey, we have your short sale package, we're waiting for a purchase agreement. Don't get offended by it, because the computer's gonna continue to send that to you. Well, you know you're waiting on a purchase agreement, but it's our system, because I don't wanna miss anything. Yes?
Do they like look, oh, she listed it this day, she has an offer this day, like, do they like,
No.
they don't care about that?
No, not anymore. Before they used to, had to be on the market for 90 days. They wanted to see all the showings, they wanted to see how many offers you had, so now it's just, get it on the MLS listing. If you're gonna write an offer, wait 24 hours.
I
Day to next
closed
day.
3 short sales with our other company before you, which was not a good company. But your company, I'm very pleased with the, communication and all that. What happened with your company that never happened before was they came back and asked for more money from the buyer, and the buyer shockingly came up, and then they asked for more money,
Yeah.
and the buyer came up again. And then we did that 3% concessions, which is really, like you said, doesn't make any sense. And we have the approval, but,
Great. So she's used us, she likes us. You can cash that $100 check I gave you when we came in too.
wow.
Yes,
Back to the equator, I have 2 files with your company.
okay.
Never provided them with any equator information. As far as I know, my equator could have expired. Are they creating an account for us?
No, they can't, because in order to create an Equator account, we need his E&O insurance and everything, and we don't have that stuff. So.
Katie is now the equator chick.
Correct. Somehow, I don't know how, you had to provide us at some point, or you're in the system and your old Equator account still works.
I'll follow
One of the
up with her.
two. Yeah, I had a meeting, you had a meeting, and somehow we're working it, because Katie, we have, the Equator team, we have 3 actually designated people to work on Equator files, because they're so unique, because some of the tasks, if they're not done in time, they'll go to a red, which means you're past due, and after a certain point, they cancel them out. And then you have to try to fire them back up. Which gets interesting in Equator when you have a first and second lien, because if you don't work them close, the second lien will give their approval letter, and then all of a sudden it takes a while for Equator, and then this one expires, and then you start working this one, by the time you work that one, this one expires. So sometimes we'll deliberately start one and stall this one till we know kind of where it's at, to try to get the 2 approval letters close to the same timeline. Okay, my staff, I have 15 internal negotiators. Rachel heads up all of them. We have a closing department and an intake department. My staff is paid a small hourly wage. They get paid bonuses when these files close. The more they close in a month, the more they make. We get some people making pretty good money, and it's all off of bonuses. I have no financial incentive to slow down your file or not work it correctly. How am I going to win? It's all about money. Why would I slow your file down? You didn't pay me anything. I want to get it to the finish line just as bad as you do, but I can only go as fast as the banks will let me, and or investors. Any questions? Yes?
How do you recommend we approach a homeowner if we know they received a notice of default?
Just say it's public records. I went to public records, and your name come up, and basically, is your name? I'm a real estate agent. I specialize in short sales, or I'm capable of doing short sales. Would you like me to come visit you and talk about what your options are?
Just
They know it.
straightforward.
Yeah, straight.
Yeah.
Guys, don't sugarcoat this.
Yeah.
Don't
That works
sugarcoat
for
it,
you?
man. What are they going to tell you?
I-
No,
Yeah.
they're
You're
in
helping.
trouble.
Yeah, if you want, let's talk about that another time, and I'll help you with some verbiage on
Yeah,
that.
to be in this market, I would rather be a real estate agent in this market than I would when the economy was booming. Because man, you show me my house is worth X, and this real estate agent says it's not worth another 10 grand. Who am I going with? You did all that work. Your number was probably more honest than this person, but because he convinced me it's a higher number. There's no numbers in short sales. I'm going to get you out of this mess and get you back to ground zero so you can start your life over. Isn't that what you're looking for? Oh my God, he hugs and kisses, and you'd be surprised at what happens.